G'day Hutch's family. I'm just back down here at this corner again, getting tortured. All this energy flow into the city, it literally, dare I say, is a bit of the gateway to the valley. Little Seymour's old place here, the ugly, like the greatest. Back in the 90s, I wanted to put LED on this like an 80s equaliser on a stereo. So we'd go from the green and it'd be like pulsating. I digress. The awning there just blasts with that intense neon with the light bulbs underneath it. And what I was saying, Scott, use what's existing. See, I've opened the shutter here. To the naked eye, you can't really see that box. So we'd have all that neon in the alleyway, but then we'd light all of that wall. Now, all those glass bricks there, we'd simply just put a floodlight in the fire exit. We can turn the back of the Fortitude Music Hall into an awesome light sculpture. It's just boring down here. Like, I haven't done a really good awning here since I did the rings on Cloudland so long ago, but you've just got to think of the hundreds of thousands of vehicles that are passing here. Now, the iconic sign that I was talking about to the valley, we could do the best, like, welcome to the valley in this really cool retro. So everyone stands there and gets a selfie on a Friday night, and it builds back the brand of the valley as well. I mean, look at this block that you guys have here. I mean, this whole entrance, dare I say, it's a bit of a Piccadilly Circus. It's a bit like Les's up at the pub there. But you could literally have all this and put a big valley sign there, and just put some LED in that metal girder just to give it a bit of kick, get rid of those ugly... Scott, what is it with the ugly cool white Perspex flat downlights? I know the electricians can buy them for $14, but they're ugly, they're glary. No one's going to get laid in the valley underneath them. So it's really easy to light this up. And we just can put some LED floodlights on just to light these facades. Keep in mind, being the boy out of the film industry, I've opened the shutter. You can see this to the naked eye. This is all just flat. Once again, all this building here is so interesting, but it's just all painted grey. It's like, I don't know how expensive it is just to pour acid down this and just strip it all back to beautiful brick. I could be wrong. It could be a really ugly brick underneath there, but if it's got an old brick to it, like the facades out the back, think of the meatpacking district in York, all those old grey's not and I know you probably thought of this, and you're probably making good rent. The Los Angeles up there looks absolutely fantastic. We can put old school billboard lights on it, but not like the ugly garish ones, but just to put a bit of a wash down it. You could put a big digital billboard on that and make an absolute fortune, like the Bickles up the road. You'd bloody pay for all this in like 2 weeks. But do the billboard cleverly, like what we did with Coldplay's World Tour. We put our LED neon around the screens, so you can have the big welcome to the valley there, a big retro arrow. But if you put a billboard up the top, you'd literally put LED around the billboard, just to make it not just look like a normal boring billboard. So straight away when you see this building, even if it's grey, we can still put floodlights on the facade there. Kick onto it was fantastic. And it just doesn't fit. It's just depressing down here. It always feels like nightclubs closing down. So that would have 3 bands of neon in that metal girder. Watch me get run over. And all this ugly, we just replaced those downlights with just low glare, warm white. And then we'd have all the classic marquee look light bulbs all around the outside would look great. And Terence, just seen one of the boys down at Underwood Demolitions. There's so much pressed metal ceiling. You could simply just get a whole bunch, even got a Bunnings, it's so cheap. Just put a pressed metal ceiling on top of that. This whole kind of 90s Freedom Furniture, just panels, just put beautiful pressed metal ceiling on that. And then once we've got all the light bulbs around the edge, then it matches in with the building. We can put all neon and everything on the outside. And Terence, what I was saying as well, like look at these little coves in here. Just put the pressed metal ceiling in that and just put a little cove around and just wash it up. So just, it feels like it just looks like a Rio Tinto donga at the moment. It's just, yeah. Just simple things like putting pressed metal on there will bring it back to life. All this cool white's just got to go. If we can keep the posters, we can just put little boom spotties on that. And there must be so much money we can get out of the council for this. If you're going to put art along the wall here, we just put the lights up and all the scaffolding on the top, washing down on that. They'll pay for that. But there is 30 metres of this. Terence, you're too young, but Scott, you remember Expo 88, they had all that scaffolding in the middle and it was just filled with neon. So you can imagine, I've allowed 200 metres of LED neon. And I can't remember what the budget was, but I think installed it was about 65,000, which is cheap as chips. If this was a Sydney alleyway and it was going to be a light installation, it would be a $2 million dollar job. I'm not kidding you. But we just put floodlights on the top. We light all that that top there. These glass sections, we just put lights behind. And once again, this brick, if we could just strip it back to acid and bring back that meatpacking district, that naughty valley, rather than just grey, depressing. And once again, don't get a mural. Just fill that full of neon and light. Just put a fake awning above the fire exit there. We just put festoons around it. Just dress it in like a film set. We can do this like, I mean, I was just on the back lots. I'm lighting up the big old Warner Brothers sign in Burbank in LA. All their back lots, they've got real fire exits like this. Paint the doors bright red, put fire exit on it, keep it in code, but make it look cool. This feels like I'm in the new Westfield shopping town, fucking somewhere. It's just boring. Look at the shapes of these buildings we've got to bring out. You can't see this at night time, but once we hit all this beautiful old brick, it will look stunning. Once again, that thing, and if we've got crosswalks and stuff going over the top. No, I just got a lot of passion this one because it's controlled by you guys. We don't have to deal with all 50,000 different people. You guys get the passion. I know I sound like I'm trying to sell vacuum cleaners here, but this is an opportunity to actually do it really well. You know the lighting's on. I'm going to charge a fortune for this, but it's like you've got someone who's got passion with this. You guys, it's a family. This is a Hutchie's bricks and mortar, so we could really do it. Really. Every bit of traffic we can see there. Keep in mind, it's not just the hundreds of thousands that are heading into the city. We live in New Farm. I must drive down this street a thousand times. Terence, have we got access to this as well? You could put a big red in the LED neon retro, old school Vegas arrow coming down there as well. Putting a big neon arrow in there is probably going to cost half the amount of putting some expensive mural in there. I'll send you a shot of that artist that I gave a whole bunch of neon. She did a whole bunch of winking eyes. And we put it in the alleyway next to the Met Bar for the big sound. You could do something like that at the end. Keep in mind, you want light at the end there. When I say put a fire exit, put an awning on there, put festoons around, it gives you depth, it draws you in there. If you've just got a flat mural there, it will just get lost. It's also the perception of safety. And the way that we light this is we want it grungy, but we also want it to feel fun. And safe, because you've got the opportunity. I don't know who owns the Fortitude. I presume it's you, Scott, Live Nation, and JC. I'm not sure how it works, but it's like 1% that I'll turn up to a job that we have access to everything. See all these glass tiles here? They go all the way up. You guys just come in and think it's just great. We simply just put in that fire exit spotlights. And we've got all this girdering up the top here. Getting a boner, that doesn't get more light. Sculpture, if you try, we just simply go up there behind those air conditioning units and just put floods behind it, and it just washes up all of a sudden this dark space has got this wonderful height to it. It's like you're in Lower Manhattan. We don't want it to look like any of those. I want it to look like the Valley when we first came here, at the underage in the late 80s and 90s, where the buildings were all lit up. They were all covered with neon. There was festoon lights everywhere. It was fun, trashy. It was alive. There are so many things you can do. You see all those brick there? Look at that. That's about as sexy as you just throw a couple of floodies in there. Not only does it work well here, you can see it all the way down Ann Street. You couldn't art direct a better backdrop in here if we tried. It would be good. Do you want me to speak to Charlie, Terence, about getting some access through here? Because Charlie's he's all for the Valley, but I know it can be tricky with stuff like that. Has he agreed to that, or are you not? I'm more than happy to take him for a drink and go, Charlie, you need to do this. So you got wall there, you can put murals and everything on, but I mean, this is a lot. I would be throwing light up there. We've got all that, put faux neon signs up there. Now, all of this, we do all these mad colours up there. I mean, the control system to do this, a Pharos system, would be about $50,000. I'm basically going to do it with just sound-activated RGB controllers, so it's going to be quite kinetic. So if it's noisy and loud bands here, it's going to go faster. If it's quiet like this, it will just slowly change. So it will actually breathe with the Valley as such. Once again, doors, we just paint them bright red, and I mean, get all the guys who work with the film industry, paint it up like a fire door, fire safety door. Do not obstruct. Make it look like a fire door. We just rip these off. We can reuse these. I mean, these up and down. Like Freedom Furniture stopped selling those in about 1993. They don't exactly work for the space. And I can guarantee, if you guys end up doing up this scenario, then we could then speak to whoever's got the bridge here and stuff like that, and just start doing stuff. But look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 squares that we can light up. So I just put red floodies behind those and just light that whole building with deep blue, and it just brings back a lot of the old school magic into the area. G'day. Terence, say, don't rip these off in a great hurry. They're actually really good light boxes. I'm sure Solitel can actually do something groovy with those. And weirdly enough, I couldn't believe it, after I threw all these ideas at you, yeah, Scott, then he shows me all the Solitel mood boards. That's very Sydney. It's like an ad agency's done it. It's exactly what we want here. It's like a moshi downtown Tokyo, Chinatown, crazy zen. It's like, guys, it's just grey, and grey. Just put pressed metal ceiling there. We've got the light bulbs all around the edge, and we've got 3 bands of neon in there. We put a couple of floodlights. See, you can just see that with the camera open, but at night time, that is just black. So even if you have to leave it grey, we can put floodlights on there, and it doesn't need to be colour changing or any of that wanky. Just throw some light up there to give it some love. That Los Angeles, I don't know what the wrangle is with it, but that's probably one of the best ones you've had up there. It's pointless doing cool stuff like this if you can't see it at night time. So we can just put a couple of boom arms on that just to wash a bit of light down there. G'day. Light down there as well. And if you can get approval for big digital billboard on the top, it's really good money, gents. Trust me. That just lifts the height as well. Because we're losing all these places. The zoo's gone. God knows how much longer the beat's going to be here. But all the things that used to be bright, like the flashing, all the neon, and it's all sadly disappearing. I've literally just had the same conversation. I've just been walking down Oxford Street with Ian Roberts. Remember the guy, the big monster gay NRL player? who I first met when I was 17 doing all the Tina Turner commercials. That is awesome. I mean, if that was lit, it would be fantastic, but they're kind of good fit outs. Looks of all these fronts here. That'd be great, they've just got no light on them. I mean, that kind of signage works really well. Those festoon lights, I gave Charlie those festoons. They're the very first bulbs that we bought out from China 15 years ago. They're still the big, oh, there's one not working, but they're 15 years old. It needs more life when you walk up there. I mean, the whole valley, like, if you guys start doing this, I'll speak to Rafael, like the Empire, I could put warm neon and glow all up the, that's another magic point. And Scott, the valley entrance sign, which I'm talking about, would be very much a entry statement for the council. They'd probably bloody pay for it, but I'd be like, I did that one for Fish Lane. I got all those bits and pieces from all around the world. That installed, I think, was only something like installed, and all the boring boxes you've got to tick, metalwork and stuff behind it to mount it safely. I think it was only about 55,000 or something. And the council loved that so much they put a plaque on it. But I mean, if you light the Empire, been helping Les trying to light this up a bit more, but throwing a bit of neon. But like, we haven't really done an awning here since Cloudland's probably the only real one. These angled poles, got back in the film industry days when I was trying to, I designed these angled poles for the sole reason to put a big Brunswick Street or Valley here. I want to put a big retro arrow there with Brunswick Street or the Valley there, but it's been so slow with the council. I designed those poles when I was still in the film industry, so that would have been, 15, 16 years ago. So all the energy flow, the hundreds of thousands of cars coming off the Story Bridge, big retro Vegas arrow there, and it's viewed into the city and also out of the city as well. So there's a couple of just trying to get a bit of a brand back in the place. I've got white street lights in, so the streets look a lot more breathable. They had sodium street lights in here which sucked the colour out of everything and made everyone look like they're going to stab you. And it's monotone orange. You can see it at the top of the street there. It's that really horrible orange. It sucks the colour out of everything. At least having the white light here, you can see the looks in people's faces and everything like that. But I mean, that's two good opportunities there. You could just put a big neon entry statement there, and then the big one on your awning. I mean, it'd be cheap enough to just do it as a Hutchins kind of sponsor. We can tell them it's worth $250,000. Well, that's what it would normally cost, but. Les has kind of copped. This was one we were going to put, and this was back 15 years ago. I probably wouldn't have done this now, but it was just making like a valley statement. This is probably a long, boring video, but yeah, just Terence, let us know. We can get the artist renditions. That's why I came down here, just to grab some frame shots that we can send off if you want some artist renditions. Like the quality which I sent you, that one is for the Dallas International Airport for American Airlines, where they're putting all our neon underneath all the seats there. We can get it made to that if you've got to send it to Solotel and all of that. Yeah. No, it's just I'm stoked you guys have it. It's just a cool opportunity, but I'm just worried that it'll just get the same trip. Look at these naughty alleyways. Lit, so I mean, you can light all this up. So you just lift all this dangerous stuff up, you put it up high. I mean, this should be a laneway here because it's got all line of sight. Look at the ferns coming out of the brick. This is the real kind of fun valley, like naughty neon. The beat this to just leave their lights on all the time. So they put white street lights on. So there's a bit of random neons at the ceiling. That's what I'm talking about. Scott, just think World Expo 88 when you've got all the stuff here. I literally, these were the first festoon lights that I had designed. I was so nervous coming back from China, and they've lasted all this time. See, this is very flat. When I walk up here, it's very dark. You need to light things up high. You need to give it a bit more depth. You've got to be careful, lots of light boxes, because it just disappears. And there's, like with Fish Lane, when I first went out and met with Aria, God, 9 years ago, or whatever it was, I said, guys, I wouldn't bring my wife, I wouldn't let my kids, anyone walk down the street. And we literally just zigzagged warm whites. The very first thing I did is just put warm white festoons all the way through Fish Lane. It became a placement. All of a sudden, people started following the lights, and then we started slithering light up the buildings. If you go down fish. Oh God! And here I'm ready to do a long, boring video, and you're sitting here. Heath Williamson, CBS News, Fortitude Valley, Brisbane, Australia. Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
So when you're watching this in your office, yeah. Yeah, I was just saying, it needs a lot more depth in here. And they were the very first festoon bulbs I made in 15 years ago. They're still bright as bright. Yeah, nice to see it, Terence. Just bring some love to this place. It's a bloody good opportunity, great corner. You know the bloody lighting designer, he's bloody free.
Lighting's amazing, mate. Lighting's absolutely stunning.
No one gets fingered under cool white light. Remember, that's what I'm hanging up by.